There is a quiet pressure that a lot of adults carry that we don't talk pressure to have it all figured out, to know exactly where your career is going, to be certain of your next move, to feel confident in decisions before you make them. And when we don't feel that certainty, we assume something must be wrong with us. But what if uncertainty isn't a sign that you're behind? What if it's a sign that you're growing? Clarity rarely comes before movement. It usually comes because of it. Somewhere along the way, many of us absorbed the idea that successful people always know what they're doing, that confident people feel sure before they act, that leaders have a perfectly mapped out plan. But if you talk to people who have actually built meaningful careers, meaningful relationships, meaningful lives, you'll hear a very different story. Most of them didn't move because they were certain. They moved because staying still started to feel more uncomfortable than trying. And often, the people who look the most certain are simply the ones willing to take steps while feeling unsure. Because confidence isn't knowing everything will work, it's deciding to move anyway. Another reason the pressure feels so heavy is comparison. We see people online announcing promotions, engagements, businesses, major milestones, and it creates this illusion that everyone has this perfectly timed life. But what we're really seeing is highlight reels stitched together from thousands of different timelines. There's no universal schedule for figuring out your purpose, or changing careers, or building stability, or hell, becoming the person you want to become. When we compare our behind the scenes to someone else's announcement, we convince ourselves that we're late, even if we're exactly where we need to be. Comparison doesn't show you someone else's timeline, it's showing you their highlight moments. Now, one of the biggest misunderstandings about adulthood is believing that we need clarity before we can take action. In reality, clarity is often something you earn after you start moving. You learn from what you like from trying things. You learn what doesn't fit because you experienced it. You learn your direction by walking far enough to see what feels aligned and what doesn't. Waiting to feel completely ready can keep you standing still for years. And most people you admire didn't start with a perfect plan. They started with a next step. Because you don't find direction by waiting. You find direction by moving. Now, part of releasing the pressure to have everything figured out is giving yourself permission to evolve, to change your mind, to try things that don't become permanent, to grow into roles you didn't originally expect. The version of you making decisions today is working with the information you have right now. 5 years from now, you'll know more. 10 years from now, you'll see things differently again. Life isn't a single decision you have to get perfectly right. It's an ongoing process of adjustment. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop asking yourself, do I have this all figured out? Instead, start asking yourself, what feels like the right next step? Because most people don't need their whole life figured out. They just need that next step. So if you've been feeling pressure lately, pressure to know more, to decide faster, or feel more certain than you do, I want you to hear this. You are not behind. You're not late. You are not the only one still figuring things out. Adulthood isn't about having a perfectly mapped life. It's about continuing to move, to learn, to adjust, and to grow. And sometimes progress doesn't look like certainty. Sometimes it simply looks like the courage to keep going without it. So if this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody who is feeling the pressure to have it all figured out. This may be the reminder they need too. As always, be kind to each other, and we'll see you next time.